What's up, guys? Brandon, Jeremy, and Indy here with our review of the super sexy Mugen MBX6T Truggy. Now, as normal, I'll start out with removing the body clips as Brandon covers the technical.
Well, technical on this one is pretty sweet. We've had the Mugen MBX6 buggy already. If you guys have seen our review video on that. On the Truggy version, it starts as a nitro. It's not a pure electric, and then you convert it to electric. So we have almost an identical replica of the MBX6, except for the Truggy accessories. So you get the long travel suspension arms. I'll show that to you again. Look at all that width you get on there, and then of course Truggy tires.
And girth.
Yeah, and girth. These are, I don't know, mixed right between buggy and monster truck tires or Truggy tires.
Yeah, they're actually, Proline sent us a couple to test out, which we were actually pretty much done with our first running video on it. And if we're able to keep it, we'll do another running video with the better tires on it for sure. We actually ran this on our Summit, in our Summit running vid. A little bit also about the technical. The way we ran it was on a Max Amps 5S battery, a 300 ounce, 330 ounce high voltage Savac servo, brushless servo, and then a 1650 kV
Yes.
Tekin brushless motor and the RX8 speed controller. That's about the limited technical knowledge that I have. So we'll go on to fun factor. 10, 5 out of 5. I mean,
10
it's
out of 10.
absolutely unbelievably fun. You can't go doing crazy wing wheelies because of the center diff, which is kind of a frowny face. But other than that, it pretty much handles anything you throw at it. It's like craving more resistance almost when it's running. The one thing I probably would have did is instead of the 1650 kV, I probably went to 1750, just because it tops out probably at like 35, 40.
Yeah, I'd say right around 40.
Yeah, and I just kind of, because of the nature of where we were running it, we had a really big wide open area, so I was kind of like, oh, I want more top speed.
Felt slow, but it works great. We could also gone to a 6-cell battery, but we never like to max out our speed controllers if we can help it. So yeah, I think the 1700 series for KV probably would have been just a little better for top speed, but the low end power is silly.
Yeah, we kept kind of maxing out the pinion and spur matchup, and the thing just barely got warm at all. Wait, were we on? We did technical and
fun factor.
Fun factor. Oh yeah, I gave it a 5.
Yeah, I get 10 out of 10, 100 out of 100 points.
5 apples out of 5 apples.
Yeah, maybe even oranges. But there's nothing you can't do with a Truggy, and a Mugen Truggy is like icing on the cake when you're running Truggies.
Yeah, and then one other thing we look at is price typically, and I think when you go Mugen, when you go any Truggy, you're talking about spending some pretty serious money. I can't remember exactly what the roller was. I got it from A-Main, 550 or 500 or something around that. But I mean, any quality A-scale like race spec Truggy setup is going to be $1,000. I mean, even if you go cheapo electronics, I mean, there's a $200 battery in here too. I mean, I'm not even including that in the cost. But it got up there. Plus, you throw in another $100 for the conversion kit that we had to do too. So as a nitro Truggy, it's probably a little more value or price point. But for what you're getting, it is what it is. I mean, it's an expensive race Truggy, man.
Yeah, Mugen doesn't get much better for race spec. You start at such a high quality already. There's no upgrades to buy. The shocks are right where you want them. All the components, I mean, the shock tower is 4mm carbon fiber. This top steering plate's 3.5. The rear shock tower is 4. And what else would you do? There's nothing else to buy for something when you get into a Mugen quality kit.
Yeah. So it's pretty much, if I feel very confident in saying, in terms of like the buggy or the Truggy class, Mugen is the hands down best you can get.
And that's why they cost a little more.
Yeah, and that's why they call it an opinion too. So if you disagree, that's cool, but that's my opinion. And Brandon and I have clearly owned basically everything there is. Now we're still building the 8T, but just based on what I've seen of it so far, I still, think that this is going to be a little bit better. In terms of, I think we look at value. throw that out the window really for a race truggy, buggy setup.
It's worth exactly what you use it for.
Yeah, I mean, you have maybe 3 or 4 really to choose from on the market. And you don't get into a Mugen Truggy looking to score a great deal.
Yeah, right.
They're expensive.
Mm-hmm.
And then durability, we're going a little out of order. Other than a weird, I don't know if it was just a bad mold or something like that. The very first day we took it out, Brandon like rolled over a twig and an A-arm snapped. It must have had like a hairline or stress fracture in it before we ever even ran it.
Yeah,
I mean, we didn't boil anything or anything.
Because it didn't even stop the truck. It just kept on going, and then I realized, the A-arms dragging.
And the set of A-arms was like $10 or something like that. And the parts were right in stock, and it was no big deal. So, other than that, there's not. I mean, I don't know what else I could say about this thing. I mean, if you're in the market for a Truggy and you can afford it, which is kind of a segue into would I buy it again? Yeah, I absolutely would buy it again without a second thought. In fact, if I had to, like right now we're kind of in a sell-off because we crazily bought all these fifth scales and all these Tamayas you see behind us. I'm really going to try to do what I can to keep it because it's so fun.
Yeah, and I would absolutely buy it again. In terms of playing with A-scale Truggies and seeing the build quality, there's almost nothing better than a Mugen, and you pay a little bit more for it, but you get every penny out of it. So yeah, I would buy it again without thinking twice.
Yeah, and I'll say, for bashing or racing, I mean, obviously there are people that race these professionally or even like semi-pro or for fun, and Mugens consistently are on the top of the podium. And for an all right, out and out basher, I still think basically Truggies are the best of both worlds. You can run a high speed, they're extremely durable, they can handle the widest variety of terrain, and you can jump them, you can do whatever you want with them. We had so much fun shooting this running video, which it was just so easy because it handled everything.
Yeah, it did make it very easy to shoot, and we had a lot of fun doing it.
So that's the Mugen MBX6T E-converted, so MBX6TE. Can't buy it as an E yet, but so if you have any questions about it, post them up on down below. Make sure if you're new to the channel that you hit the subscribe button up there. Check out our website, rcnightmare.com, and if you're selling anything out there on the web, make sure you check out our marketplace, buyrcstuff.com. Thanks, and we'll see you real soon.
See you guys next time.